Tonight I'm going to speak about something that I'm passionate about, that I'm often thinking about, and that I believe is very relevant to most of us here this evening, and that's doing business in Swaziland. I believe that we should all be supporting His Majesty in the vision of becoming a first world country. First world countries are countries with advanced economies, that are influential, that have high standard of living, that have great technology. This may seem impossible to achieve, and for each one in our own capacity, it is impossible. But if we do our bit together, I'm confident that we can achieve this goal. Firstly, what we need to understand, and that is that growth in the economy is all of us. If a business opens in Hlangana, virtually everyone in Hlangana benefits in some way. Even competition is healthy, as it forces us to become better at doing business. The question is, how can we as individuals, as businesses, or as government contribute? After many years of doing business in Swaziland, I'm convinced that our biggest strength is our people of Swaziland. And the biggest advantage we have is the fact that all the people have access to land. The key is unlocking the man on the street, with or without a job, to realize that he can start a business. The big misconception out there is that people think that the only way to start a business is to get a big loan and then buy a business or start with a bank. This is one way, but it's not the best way. The most healthy way to start a business is to start small. Even if you're holding down a low-paying job, what is your 5-year plan? Do you want to remain in the same situation that you're currently in? It is a choice. Can you afford to buy and plant one avocado tree or a nut tree every month? Even if you're unemployed, there's, for instance, wattle trees growing as weeds everywhere. One can dig them up and plant a plantation of them where you have available land. And if one persists in this way, one will be very well off in a period of time. I'm not trying to make out that this is easy, but with perseverance, it's possible to have a good business if one takes a long-term view on it. I cannot speak for someone else, but I can speak for my own life. When I came back from agricultural college as a young man, I wanted to start beef farming, but didn't have any money to purchase cattle with. There were some wattle jungles in the farm, and my mother said that I could buy them from her. I got an old chainsaw. I was the machine boy, and I employed 3 people to help me debark the logs. I had them stacked and found a market and sold the timber. I was about 23 years old then, and at that point in my life, I started searching for meaning. I had a powerful born-again experience and accepted Jesus Christ into my life at that time. As a new Christian, I asked the Lord what I should do with my life to serve Him. I believed that the only way to truly serve God was to be a pastor or a missionary. I've since realized that you don't need to be in full-time ministry to do God's work. I now know that I'm doing God's work in the marketplace, in and through business, and that's where God wants me. So I continued to work hard. I cut down trees during the day and doing beekeeping at night. The wattle flowed down to Richards Bay and other markets. I started a sawmill and cut timber in Hlangana. Later bought a farm in Babaan, put up a sawmill there too. The business started growing and expanding. We opened another mill in Bunya. The business has now grown more than I ever thought possible. Mountain Investments currently trades about 500 million emalangeni a year. We trade and process about 500,000 tons of timber, and we provide employment for about 1,500 people in Swaziland directly and about 2,000 indirectly. We own over 10,000 hectares of land and more than 6,000 hectares of standing timber. I'm not telling you my story about Montigny to brag, but what I am saying is that any person can succeed in business. All I've been doing is taking hold of opportunities that come my way. I've been working hard at it, doing righteous business, honoring God, never dealing corruptly, and doing everything that I do with a long-term view. I grew up poor. I went to a very normal government school, got very average grades at school. I'm not brilliant at business plans or financial strategies, and I don't have a degree. If God can use a donkey like me, then I'm 100% sure that He can use anyone. My request and plea tonight is that we all do what we can to encourage the man on the street to think of what his long-term plan is and to start doing something about it, even if it seems so small and slow. I am confident that we have all the building blocks in place in Swaziland to make our economy grow into something that the rest of Africa can look at and see how an economy can be turned around. Bayete, Winnapaga.